In the world of video games, player agency is everything. But what happens when a game forces you to question your role as a participant? Today, we explore two powerful scenes from The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War Ragnarok to understand the psychological impact of pressing or not pressing a button during traumatic moments in gaming. First, let's look at The Last of Us Part 2. In a harrowing scene, Ellie tortures an enemy and you, the player, are forced to press square to progress. This movement is brutal, raw, and deeply uncomfortable. I dreaded having to make this button press. By making you press the button, the game implicates you in Ellie's actions. You're not just a witness, you're an active participant in her descent into violence. The design choice creates a psychological effect. Pressing the button can induce feelings of guilt, compulsion, or even complicity in a video game. It forces you to confront the morality of your actions, blurring the line between character and player. Naughty Dog purposely implements this effect to try to get players to go to the same dark place Ellie is going. While playing, I was completely uninterested in joining Ellie for a dark, evil journey that she was going on. It put me, the player, in a really hard place of walking away from a stinking video game or playing through to see what happened to one of my favorite characters. The impact was strong despite my own personal feelings of not wanting to continue this or choosing not to regardless. That scene impacted me. Now I contrast this with God of War Ragnarok. When Kratos loses control and kills Heimdall, the player is taken out of the equation this time. You lose control of Kratos, watching helplessly as he succumbs to his rage. In this scenario, the game designers choose to remove player agency, making you a spectator to Kratos' violence. This can evoke a different set of emotions, like helplessness, shock, and even relief that you are not responsible for his actions. I was sad and almost empathetic to Kratos in this scene. Certainly, context plays a huge part in that. In this part of the narrative, Kratos is trying not to kill Heimdall. He tries sparing him after the first part of the fight, and only when his son's life is threatened does Kratos go too far and kill the god. By killing Heimdall, Kratos is fulfilling the fates the Norns have laid out for him earlier in this game. It makes me suspect that maybe Kratos can't break fate and he's doomed to be killed by his son Loki. That's terrible. Oh, the prophecy. Oh god, no. Look at it. It's horrible. Look at oh. Now in contrast, Ellie's context is one of a revenge mission in a downward spiral. She's not killing out of protecting others, but trying to settle a score off the awful grieving loss of Joel. Ellie is disturbed and traumatized by how far she went in torturing Nora to get the location of Abby. It's so interesting to see that after both these devastating moments, these traumatic moments to our main characters, we see both of them reacting in a traumatized or shook up state. Ellie returns and is completely shaken up and in a state of shock, very similar to Kratos, who loses himself in terrible violent defense of his son, or even possibly worse, re-becoming the monstrous Kratos we know from the original 3 games. The Kratos he fears of being, the Kratos he hates.
Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know.
Kratos has created so much self-hatred, and we even see in the DLC, he has to heal himself from the devastating hole of regret for his actions in which he has. Both these characters are at different points in their journey. The context of these two traumatic encounters push players to starkly different conclusions about each of the characters at that specific point in their journey. Both scenes still kick around in my headspace from time to time because of the incredible impact and effectiveness of the choice to either have the player press or not press the button. This approach allows the game to maintain Kratos' characterization while protecting the player from direct involvement in his darker moments, in contrast to you being there every step of the way when Ellie does something worse than before. So what are the psychological impacts of these two different approaches? When a game forces you to press a button, it can heighten emotional engagement and personal responsibility. You're directly involved, making the experience more visceral and immediate. Now, a quick Google neuroscience shows that active participation in morally challenging scenarios activate areas of the brain associated with decision-making and emotional regulation. This can create a stronger emotional memory, embedding the experience deeply into your psyche. The goal of Naughty Dog and what they're doing, which does also make you question, do I really want to be feeling these things while playing a video game? Really? But conversely, being a passive observer can evoke empathy and reflection without the burden of direct action. It allows you to process the events more analytically, potentially leading to a different kind of emotional impact. From a game design perspective, these choices are crucial in shaping the player experience. Naughty Dog's decision to make you press square in The Last of Us Part 2 aligns with their narrative goals of immersing you in Ellie's morally gray journey. It's a deliberate move to make you feel her pain and guilt, and it's effective. I felt like crap playing that game, and many other players did too. On the other hand, Santa Monica Studios' choice in God of War Ragnarok reflects the desire to keep Kratos' story controlled and coherent. By removing player agency at that critical moment, they ensure that Kratos' character remains intact, while you, the player, can contemplate the gravity of his actions without feeling personally culpable. You don't get the same type of emotional ambiguity inside the player as you do when you have them actively participate. Let's take it a step further. In The Last of Us Part 2, when Naughty Dog forces you to play through Abby's perspective, the intended goal of the developer was to show you the other person's perspective in this cycle of violent revenge. By playing as Abby, it's supposed to invoke empathy by literally walking in her shoes. But what I believe pushed me and many other players over the edge of no return was having the players fight and nearly kill Ellie. There is something that feels so wrong, strange, and messed up to be strangling, stabbing, and blowing up Ellie after everything the player has been through with the character. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. It's disgusting. Looking back to God of War, the original trilogy had Kratos as this hateful monster, much like Ellie became in Part 2. But by the end, the player joins Kratos in his decision to kill himself, giving hope back to the world. For once, Kratos was thinking of others outside his endless revenge against the gods. The ending of Last of Us Part 2 takes that agency away from the player, and you don't even get to make the decision to not kill Abby in the end. With both these stories and games, I can't help but feel like Ellie is amid Kratos' old journey of revenge and redemption. A journey where he has a path to be worthy of worship by others for the person he has become by the end of God of War Ragnarok. But there is so much emotion and trauma and moral dilemmas that needs to be worked through that it's created such a visceral reaction from players, the community, and what I've experienced myself. Two more games that have even closer comparisons are the endings of Infamous 2 and Resident Evil Village. Both endings have the main character you have been spending hours with, loving and bonding with, sacrificing their life in order to save the world. Both are extremely impactful, but one, I teared up, and the other, I just kind of felt sadness and an emptiness. Sucker Punch games makes you activate the bomb that will kill Cole and all the superpowered conduits inside the Infamous world. It is then followed by a gut-punching, tear-jerking cutscene of people finally accepting Cole as a hero. While Resident Evil Village, in contrast, has Ethan Winters setting off a bomb to kill the mold that is causing the bioweapons to get out of control and cause all the issues of Resident Evil Village. But most importantly of all, Activating that bomb will save his daughter, Rose. Ethan's death is followed by his wife blowing up at Chris Redfield in grief, Chris showing as much emotion that is allowed for his hyper-masculine, righted-up persona. Oh, poor Chris. Oh, he's so manly. And then, many years later, we get a grown-up Rose visiting Ethan's grave. Without a doubt, the higher emotional impact on me, the player, was when Sucker Punch Games made me release the bomb that killed Cole. But that doesn't mean the other one's not as effective. It just hits different buttons, and I think that is fascinating psychologically. What making a player participate in can completely change how they interpret the same game and scene. I'm dumbfounded by its effectiveness. Whether you're pressing the button or watching helplessly, these design choices profoundly affect how we experience and process these moments. They challenge our perceptions of agency, morality, and empathy in the virtual worlds we explore. Do you have a game similar to any of the four I've mentioned in this video that jumps out to you that either made you participate or took that agency away from you that has always stuck with you for these years later? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you prefer being an active participant in these scenes, or do you appreciate the distance of passive observation? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, you may like another video I made discussing how Johnny Silverhand's memories lie to us in Cyberpunk 2077. It's a really cool mystery that you guys are going to want to check out. Thanks for watching and be safe till I see you next. Bye.